Like people say, his government name is Kwame Nsia Apao. Born on 17th of April 1976, you well know him as Okyeame Kwame. Others call him OK. And he's also nicknamed Rap Doctor. I like the emphasis he himself puts on the word Rap Doctor. As if the spelling is not D-O-C-T-O-R, no, it's like Rap Doctor. And he smells so wide. I love it. He's skilled with the power of literature. This is a man, Charlie, or starting in Okyeame, I think I was in class 3 or something. But he's been at it years after years after years. And he's doing great. Impeccable music. And now today, Charlie, you know what? We're going to talk to him, okay? Okyeame Kwame. Akwa Baminia.
Yeah, Edmia.
How are you doing?
Charlie, by God's grace. So.
You know one thing that fascinates me about your brand?
Holla.
You're callous.
You
see, yeah, because we were talking about this, myself and Philip, my producer, and we were discussing how great you are with your fashion sense. And I'm like, he's not going back. It's like always moving ahead. You know, how do you do it? You're looking great.
Thank you.
17th of April. How old were you? 40?
45.
45. 45. And how come you've kept yourself together? What informs your fashion sense? Do you have a stylist?
Fashion.
Or something?
Oh yes, I do. I have a stylist. But I only pay him to style me when I have a photo shoot or when I have a video shoot or when I'm going for an event. But on a regular day, I pick my own clothes.
Wow.
Yeah, so because I can't afford a stylist for 30 days out of a month. You know, so but apart from that, I think that my main idea when I'm picking clothes, I think of 3 things: intelligence, elegance, and African. You know, because every time I want my person or my personality to exhume these 3 things.
Right.
You know, so when I'm picking clothes, I pick clothes based on these 3 things. How do I look? Intelligent, elegant, and African. You know, so whatever whenever I have a place to go, whether it's casual, it's corporate, it's, you know, black tie, whatever, you know, I pick my clothes based. So these are the 3 pillars. Or these 3 pillars are my stylists. You know,
yes.
They tell me what to wear.
Right. So, but do you factor colors into it? Because I see that, one, the thing is that you are like an ambassador for made in Ghana stuff, okay?
Yes.
And you know that African prints normally come in different colors.
Yes.
But it's not only when you are putting on African prints. Most of the times, even like today, you are not in African prints. But colors nechi. Maybe I say, how do you do it? Because it's even the same with your book. The book I have in my hand right now, very colorful. And I'm asking, how does he do this thing?
Well, the trick is simple. You know, Africa is color. When you just Google Africa, just put Africa in Google and just press images, you see that the first thing that will come is sunshine, brightness. You know, we Africans, we are not afraid to express ourselves,
right?
Whether in the area of art, in poetry, whatever,
right.
In our smiles, because we have the sun. You know, so if you are born an African, I think that you shouldn't be afraid to express yourself colorfully.
Right.
And I think that I'm a very colorful person. So, and you know that a man's environment is a perfect extension of his thinking. So, and since my most immediate environment is the clothes I wear, I wear the clothes to express how colorful and how bright I am in my head. You know, so that's why I'm colorful. I think I'm color. I love color. I love color. I know that God didn't create color so we hide it. You know, God created color for us to flaunt it.
Yes,
you know, so
yes.
that's why I'm always colorful.
And color speaks volumes.
And
as
I'm
well.
telling you, it has, when you wear bright colors, it sort of have an effect on your mood for the day, because you cannot wear bright green and bright pink and go and sit down there and be like this. And frown, because true color is from within,
right?
You know, so once you adorn yourself with bright colors, your spirit must also be bright.
Right.
You must share bright smile, share bright ideas. All that is color.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We're in a conversation with Okyeame Kwame, And time on the clock is 4:32. Now, I want us to talk about your family, okay? There's one thing that you also do a lot on social media is flaunt your family. It's not just about the car, it's also your family.
Yes.
My thing is, you have a very beautiful family.
Thank you.
And I think I have read about, now, I can see the picture in the studio. I think I read about how you met your wife in Kumasi, you know, and then now you have two beautiful kids, Say Bota.
Yes.
Yes, Kwame Bota, is that
Kwame
right?
Bota, Kwame Sia Bota.
Good. And then the
Enchiwa.
yes, Enchiwa, yes, and then your wife Anika. You have a very beautiful family.
Thank you.
How's the family, by the way?
Oh, they are great. They are great.
Okay. So I want to find out, what kind of father are you?
I am the type of father that never beats children. I think any form of corporal punishment is abuse. So I don't beat children, never. And I also am the type of father that I use the reward, system instead of the fear, punishment. So when my children do things that are amazing, or when they try to attempt things that are amazing, I reward them.
All right.
Instead of wait for them to do something that is bad, then I beat them. Because I think I'm the type of father that wants to tell my children the truth about my experience, not all the stereotypes that they are going to face out there. I'm the type of father that tries my best to not separate, sex for my children. It's not masculine and feminine.
Right.
It's not male, female. It's not you are a man, you're supposed to do this. You are a woman, you're supposed to do this. You are a girl, you're supposed to grow up and become someone's wife. You are a man. So I try my best to give equitable distribution of my knowledge, my time, for my children, whether it's the boy or it's the girl. So I think that I'll consider myself as a modern father that's really believe in expressionism. I want my children to be able to express. I want them to be able to come to me and ask me about anything.
Yeah, I was coming to that because
anything.
Your children are well exposed.
Thank
so
you.
My point is, when they flout rules in the home, how do you solve it? Because you don't beat them. How do you punish them?
I do the same thing I do to myself when I make mistakes.
And what is that?
I tell myself that you made a big mistake this time, and make a promise to myself not to do it again, and go to the appropriate place to go and find solution so that I do not make those mistakes again. So I do the same thing to my children when they make mistakes. I have a discussion with them. I talk to them about what they have done. Its karma, its consequences,
right.
And then I try to take time to slow down the process for them to understand the effect of what they have done. And then after that, once they are remorseful, I get them to make a promise that it will not happen again. And we all work it together to make sure that it doesn't happen. That's how I deal with it.
I think that's brilliant.
That's how
I think that's brilliant. And ladies and gentlemen, remember we are live on Facebook, okay? You can go to our Facebook page. We're streaming live right now. But then moving away from being a father, what kind of a husband are you as well? And I'm asking these questions because like everything you post on social media about your family is lit, if that's a good word to use.
My family is lit.
So what kind of a husband are you?
I think this would have been an amazing answer from my wife.
Okay.
But I'll try and answer it from my perspective.
Okay.
But I think the next time you get to talk to my wife, ask her. Her answer will be more accurate.
Okay.
But I think that I am an amazing husband. I try my best to be completely honest. Completely honest with my wife. From my thoughts to the good things, plans I have for her, to the bad things I see her in town. When I go to town, I see some nice girl. I have wicked thoughts. I go home and tell my wife. So I am a completely honest person. I think that whole idea of communication is the key. We need to move it to the next level. Which is transparency is the key. Because you could be communicating with your wife and be lying to her.
Yeah.
That is still communication.
Yes.
But honest communication is rather the key.
Right.
So I don't hold anything back from how much money I make, how much money I do not make, where I am going to, where I will go to the whole day. When I plan my day with knowing that my wife is the boss and she's supposed to. I'm totally accountable to her. And I think that the effect of that accountability is the pictures that you see on social media.
Right.
And the amazing things my wife writes about me on my birthdays or on special days, or during our anniversaries on social media. But I try my best to be the most accountable person that I know.
Right. Thank you very much. I think that one also leads us to the next thing we want to talk about. It serves as a foundation for your philosophies. Okay, what would you say are the three things that has kept you?
Kept, I mean, how? Like physically, spiritually, mentally,
everything in one. Everything in one. Because I believe that that the various aspects of life are what makes a person.
It's
whether
true.
they are successful or not.
It's true.
Now we have witnessed you from the 90s.
Yes.
Hits upon hits and everything. You still, and like we said, now can you say R2G?
R2G
refuse to grow. So how do you do it? What is your philosophy?
Three things.
Three things that make
I
you.
think the most important thing is honesty to
One.
self. Honesty to self. Back in the day, when Africa was Africa, every temple in Africa that you walk to, you see an inscription in front of it. Above all things, know thyself. So knowledge of self and honesty to self. I think that is one. The second thing is honesty to the community. Service and honesty to the community. And then the last thing is honesty to God. So all the three things, it will be honesty. So honesty to self, honesty to the community. And then honesty to God. So let me explain what honesty to self means. When I create music and the music is whack, I am honest enough to know that this thing I did is whack. And it begins with awareness. It begins with consciousness.
Right.
And my community is my family, the industry I work in, the people I meet consistently. How honest am I to this community, to my contribution towards the community? How much do I give back from everything that I take from the community? You understand?
Yeah,
so that's one, too. And then honesty to God. So honesty to God comes back to honesty to self, because none of us will ever see God.
Right.
But once you meet a person, so once I meet someone, I always greet like this. I greet the person as a God.
Yeah.
And then if the person takes all that respect that I've shown him or her and throws it back at me in a form of disrespect, I realize, it's not a God, it's a human being. And I deal with you as a human being. But for me, I am honest enough to understand that there's the presence of God in everyone and everything.
Right.
Therefore, everyone and everything must be shown the same level of respect. Honesty.
Perfect. You haven't laid back even during the COVID pandemic, okay? And it shows in this beautiful book that you have brought to our studio today, Love Locked Down, Maintaining a Lasting Love Relationship. And this is from Okyeame Kwame in Apao and Annika in Apao. Okay, I want to find out what informed the title of this book.
Love Locked Down, So we wrote this book. My wife and I wrote this book during the lockdown period, when we're trying to do something. For the past 4 years, we've been saying that we are going to write a book. But during the lockdown, when both of us were at home, we realized that, it's time for us to put it together. So we had been thinking of the content that we are going to put in the book, and this, that, and the other. So during the lockdown, we brought someone together to help us put the book together. But my wife and I, we had like a very, very small wedding. Very, very, very small wedding. I remember our wedding was done like 11 or 12 years ago,
Okay.
And it cost about 300 Ghana cedis, because it was a wedding that had only 7 people. A few family members at the court signing our lives to each other and making the promise to help each other blossom. But then we said that if we survive 10 years, we're going to do an event at the beach. And that's sort of like our wedding, and we're going to call it Lockdown, because at that time, when we're having our wedding, when we're getting married, Kanye West had released a song, the Love Lockdown, Love Lockdown. And we used to love the song so much because of the way we're both locked down.
Right.
Right. And then when we started writing the song, it was also during the lockdown. We said, I think that we need to call the book Love Lockdown.
Right.
And also for what it means, the whole idea of love is, let me bring it back to Twi. In the Twi language, or in the Akan language, yere means to hold tight.
Yep.
Mayere no.
Yeah.
So oyere is the person that holds you and grounds you.
Right.
So the whole idea of the stability that human beings are supposed to find with love. That is what the book is about. That's why we call it Love Lockdown.
Well, I think it's a very beautiful book. The outlook, like the colors. What also informed this artwork?
The artwork, well, so there are 2 books in one, The first book, when you turn it around.
That's actually what I found out.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I haven't seen anything like this before. Like, ladies and gentlemen, we're on Facebook. Like I said, if you're on Facebook, you can see that. Like, when you have the book, it's just 2 in 1. You turn it.
Yes.
Not just like flip it over, but you also turn it upside down to read the second part of the book.
So the first book,
brilliant.
The first book is the part where my wife and I look young.
Okay.
And then it says finding a lasting love relationship.
Right.
So that's 200 pages of tricks and little things that you're supposed to know before you say I do.
Okay.
So it will help you through the courting process, the whole 9 years. And then the second book is now that you are married, how are you going to deal with the marriage, especially when the marriage is growing and you are in your 5th year, your 7th year, going to your 100th year? How do you keep the relationship spicy? How do you keep it exciting? So that is why the book is done like that. But the reason for the second book, which is the Pink Police, is that we believe that once a relationship grows old, it's sort of the whole romance in it begins to go down. We need to arrest it. We need to arrest it. So that's why the back has the police and the front is just swag. It's just 2 people wearing the same dress. We are both in the same dress.
Yes.
So that is it.
Right. Okay. So I want to read something. Okay. I actually saw this on your Instagram page a few days ago.
Okay.
I wrote it down. I'm going to read it. And it says, celebrity marriages make the headlines and send social media into a frenzy. Unfortunately, the reality is that most celebrity marriages do not last. These are the opening lines of the foreword by our own Uncle Ebo White.
Yes.
How did you get Uncle Ebo to pen these beautiful words? I actually read the whole thing.
Okay.
How did you get him on this?
To tell you the truth, I sort of in Ghana right now, as an artist / a marketing strategist, my whole MO is to become Uncle Ebo when he retires. So Uncle Ebo is my number 1 inspiration in this industry. So for the past, say, 7 years, I've been visiting Uncle Ebo, learning his ways, sort of like an apprentice. So I love Uncle Ebo and he loves me. So when I gave him the book and I asked him to do the foreword, he didn't say no, because I'm sort of like his young brother.
Right.
And then he read the book, and those were the things that he said about the book, and also for the fact that he's known Annika and I for almost half the length of our marriage, and everything that he wrote on there was honest.
Beautiful. I haven't met Annika before, and I have a gift or a surprise for you for your Barka de Salah.
Okay.
I don't know. How do you want it? Solemn or with a little bit of... How do you want it? I have your wife on the line.
Oh.
Hello, Annika.
Hey.
Mrs. Insia Pau.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, madam?
Oh, I'm doing great by God's grace. And you?
I'm doing fantabulous.
Awesome. Thanks for calling me.
Right. Okay, so I know you are very much aware that your husband is right here in the studios of Joy.
Yes, I know.
And we have your book. I love it. I love the artwork. I love the foreword by Uncle Ebo White. I want to ask you, even before the book, what kind of a husband is Okyeame Kwame? What kind of a husband?
Kwame is one of the most understanding human beings ever.
Right.
He's patient. He is kind. He's very peaceful. He's like totally a loving person. So it's easy to love him.
I see. Thank you very much on that one. But also on the book, I know you both wrote it, okay?
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you make of the book?
When you say what do I make of the book, what exactly are you saying?
By the contents, the color, how did you contribute to it? generally, what do you make of it? And why would you think people have to purchase it?
Okay, so generally, what we are, why we created the book was that I get a lot of, my husband likes to share some parts of his life on social media. So whenever we do that, we get a lot of people questioning us about, is it really real? Are you really that happy? And then they say that, is marriage that nice? And then people also, when they realized that it wasn't going to go away, and then that was exactly how we lived our lives, because some of them came around to meet us eventually and realized that this is exactly how we lived our lives. And most of the fun things that we do are not even posted out there. So it's only a fraction of our joy that he puts out. They started questioning us on, how do you do it? How can it happen? So we kept getting those messages so many times that we decided to write a book and share with people on how we have been able to manage our differences to be able to enjoy married life the way we do. We are not perfect. We are humans, but we have a lot of fun. I mean, we can count the number of times we've had misunderstandings in our marriage since we've been married for like 12 years. And so we decided to put it down and share what we do so that other people can also take from it if they will. And that's how the book came about.
Wow,
so when it was locked down, we had already been putting bits and pieces together. But when it was locked down, we decided that we are not going to go anywhere, so why don't we just finish it?
Right.
And that's how come we finished.
Well, I'm excited that we have a book like that, because like we have seen a lot about the family, about your marriage on social media, and like you rightly said, some of the people will be wondering, is it just make-believe or it's something that actually happens? So thank you very much for your contribution. I am glad that you were able to speak with us today on Drive Time on Joy. Thank you very much, Annika.
Oh, thank you. You asked one question, that what would I like people to take?
Yes.
Now, what I would like them to take is liberation. Mm-hmm. Because what I realized was that if you read the dedication that we wrote to our children, you'd realize that we've told them not to let society pressure them in any way. Whenever they feel that there's something they must do, which will save them a lifetime of heartache, they shouldn't just condone to the pressures of society because people will look. They should do it because it is the right thing and because it keeps their hearts at peace. So how we feel liberated is how we want people to feel when they get our books.
Right. Thank you very much. I strongly believe that people are going to pick something from this book and make sure that they get a copy of it. I am going to try get a copy as well. So thank you very much for joining us. Okay, so that was Mrs. Annika Insia Apao right there on our line. Remember, this is Joy 99.7 FM, and you are locked on to Drive Time on Joy. Our guest in the studio is Mr. Kwame Insia Apao, also known as Okyeame Kwame. So the book is going to be launched when?
From today, so on Saturday.
On Saturday?
Yes, we are going to launch the book, and then it will be available in all bookshops. And people can actually go out there and buy the book and enjoy the meat in it, enjoy the content.
Okay, so I want to find out, how has COVID actually impacted your career?
Hey.
Because
so you know, last 2 years I did a Made in Ghana album.
Right.
And when you, as an artist, when you do an album, it will take you about 6 months to about a year to be able to monetize the album properly. Mm-hmm. So we released the Made in Ghana album, and then myself and Ghana Tourist Authority and Ghana Tourist Authority and GIPA were going to launch a world tour to take along Made in Ghana products and use the music to bring people to come and see kente and cha-cha and bags and this and made in Ghana, real estate and all that.
Right.
And then COVID came. So we're to start in our first show was on May 14th in England, remember? And then from that it will snowball into Germany, same May, the US. We're doing about 3 states, and then we'll go to Holland, and we're about to do ending in Johannesburg. And then the COVID came, so some of these venues we had booked already. We had secured visas, we had people were ready to come with us, so we lost a lot of money. Apart from the money that we lost during the COVID period, we also lost time, and for me, I was scared. I was scared. Remember that people used to say by June, so I was scared. And then I started doing recordings during the COVID period on myself. As a businessman, I tried to set up lalafio.com, which was a website, a portal that we created for live streaming, so that musicians could be employed. So we used to do performances on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, live, that people could actually pay money to watch, and then that was also another challenge. It was a fresh thing that I had gone to invest money and time in with Vocacom. And then that brought me more suffering
than you expected.
The COVID itself, So I got the learnings actually. So now we are also getting ready to relaunch Lalafio from another strategic perspective.
Brilliant.
And then apart from that, this COVID I scored from 1st January till now. I think my song Yekon has been in the charts. It's been in the charts for almost 4 or 5 months.
And doing very great.
It's doing great. And I'm not doing any performances. So if it wasn't for COVID and this whole lockdown and the COVID-19 protocols, by now I should have picked lots of money. But all that we do is online. And that people are now coming to the idea that they can enjoy performances online and pay money for it. So for me, as a businessman, I think, or as a businessman working in an industry like this where most of the revenue that we get comes from residual income, because people must pay their school fees, buy clothes, pay hospital bills, buy food before they can enjoy art. So and these times that people are going home, nobody's interested in buying music. Even the ones that used to stream music and pay money, they now want to go and stream it where they can get it for free, because that's $1 that they are using, that's a whole lunch. So COVID has impacted me personally and my industry a lot, but it's also shown us the way that usumbody asumkwedu, it's also shown us that we need to try and get online as well. It's also shown us that it is important. So most of the businesses that I am involved in, we have tried to find an online counterpart. For example, if you go to Soko Center now, because of the COVID, you can actually go to sokocenter.com and go and buy different types of made in Ghana products that you can select everything, pay with your Visa or Momo, and it will be shipped to you. Because of COVID, even this book that we've written, if you go to www.lovelockdown.com, we have an online version of the book. And the most interesting part of it is that you can actually, when you scroll down to the last page online, you can actually go and get if you are depressed from relationships or your heart is broken, you can go online and speak to clinical psychologists, for free, because we have realized that it is important to develop the online community as well, because we don't know what's about to hit us next. So COVID has been very bad, but it's also been good.
I see.
Yes.
So you've picked up something at least.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, remember that our Drive Chat is brought to you by MTN. Choose your own bundle, your own way with MTN Flexi Bundle. Just dial *138 and enjoy bundles that don't expire. And also Access Bank, more than banking. TCL, the creative life. Charlie, it gets better on MTN every day with so much to give to our loyal customers. We know you love long phone conversations, and you sure do love your internet too, right? So now guess what? With MTN free after one, you get to talk for as long as you wish. As long as you wish, I mean. Pay pay for the first minute only, and the rest is absolutely free. You also get 50 megabytes of data to browse for free. Just dial *550# to subscribe to MTN free after one and stay connected because we're good together. Terms and conditions apply. MTN, everywhere you go. Now, Okyeame, fix the country. I've seen lots and lots of tweets. The hashtag has been on and on for, I think, about not less than 2 weeks, right? But amazingly, I haven't seen any tweet whatsoever from you on fix the country. What's your general take on fix the country?
Well, I have a book coming up in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
If I make a statement on fix the country today, it will overwhelm everything that I've been doing for the past 3 months. I know fix the country is a very, 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 very important argument.
Right.
It's an important conversation, and I am going to say something about it after I have launched the book. After I launch this book, I'm going to say something about fix the country, and I promise that I will say it to you.
Okay, so you're going to be back on Drive on Joy.
Yes.
Okay, then
because I have a lot to say about fix the country.
And it's not going to be about tweets, right?
No. I have a lot to say about it.
Okay.
So you today, let this car pass me by.
Okay. So
Yes.
so before this car passes through the red light, I want through the green light anyway. I want to know, like, what exactly are you happy? Are you happy with the way things are going? Just that.
Oh man.
I see all the signs around.
Oh, man.
I see.
Oh, man. It is the same question. It's a political question.
Okay.
I will answer it after
After
the book launch.
Okay.
After the book
we
launch.
won't push.
Yes, don't
so
push.
I just want
I'll answer it.
We won't push. So for those of you that just joined us, we're having a sweet conversation with Okyeame Kwame, and Okyeame, just please reiterate the launch of the book, the dates, and where people can actually buy it from.
The book Love Lockdown, written by myself with my wife,
right?
Forwarded by Uncle Bo White,
Yep.
and then we wrote it with another gentleman called Okyeame Kwame, who is in the US, who is actually the publishing agent. We are launching this book 2 days from now, so I urge you to go to all the shops, every bookshop that is near you. When you see Love Lockdown, it's 2 books in one. The book 1 is in front, book 2 is at the back. But we didn't want to separate it for now. We just wanted the first, this is a limited edition too. So
oh, really?
Exactly. This is a limited edition.
Okay. So I think folks have to take notice of the cover, because one thing I realize right now is I think there is an eye at the top, and then when you turn it, there is this eye.
Exactly.
Okay.
So get it. It is the most honest thing I have done. I don't remember the last time I had this type of frenzy about a project that I'm working on. We put a lot. It's very honest, and you know that most of the books that are written on love and relationship, these books are written by older people. So we want to give sort of like a peer-to-peer perspective. So I am not that old. Mm-hmm. I'm still hip, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Not you guess.
So I want young people to be able to pick up the book. And some of the crazy things that they have, I also have the same crazy ideas,
yeah.
To find out about, because the book is written from a male perspective, a female perspective, that's my wife's perspective,
right.
From a religious perspective and a secular perspective, that's my perspective,
okay.
So when you pick up the book, there's a lot and then when you have questions after you pick up the book, you can actually go to www.lovelockdown.com and ask the questions and let the conversation begin. Because love, even though we do not pay much attention to it, we just leave it to chance, is the most important thing in the world. It's out of that all of us came.
Right.
And love, when curated properly, will lead to a family. And a family will lead to development of children. And these children will come and fix the country.
Right. Okyeame, thank you so much for joining us on Drive Time on Joy. I think I loved this one. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming and for honoring our invitation. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Okyeame Kwame, Mr. Nsia Pao. My name is Kofi Hayford, and show is produced by Philip Nye. We have another big surprise for you, but I'm going to tell you about that later on. So the book is Love Locked Down, written by Okyeame Kwame, okay? Go to www.lovelockdown.com